Hey there, you're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more of a September full of Sims. We are looking here at Dockside on the mainland. This is what this little area on this end of the bridge is called. And so for the curious of you who are wondering how I sort of role play in my head how the Sims go back and forth across this ocean divide that takes us from Acanthop Isle, which is over here, which is literally an island. See? It's an island. And then the mainland, which I imagine, by the way, the reason why the mainland is sort of jutted up against the edge of the map like this is that I imagine that this is actually part of a huge continent and that this is just one little coastal community on the far edge of the mainland. That's why I call it the mainland. Anyway, there are two ways to get back and forth from the mainland to Acanthop Isle. One of them you saw as we started the episode. This little end train will take you from the mainland to Acanthop. And then also, it's the ferry here. These ferries are... Some of it is... Some of the ferries are... excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to kill a moth while talking to you at the same time. Some of the ferries are Maxis ferries. Let me show you. I have, over the years, gathered a lot of hood content and deco for the hood. So, these are sailboats. Let's see if I can get them to come up here. Find where they are. A lot of hood deco I got from a fantastic modder that posted for a while on Mod the Sims. So there is a whole section of hood deco. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. Hopefully I might find a clue here. But he's the one who gave us this wonderful pier, for example. This pier that I'm moving around. And all of these things are available to be seen from the lot. In other words, you know, when I go into a lot, one of the things I love so much about being in a lot is being able to look out and see some of the hood deco. I happen to know that these wonderful ferries are by Psycho Sims. Psycho Sim also did a lot of neighborhood deco and still does. I believe he or she is still active in the simming modding community. One of the best things about The Sims 2 is that it has a very rich modding and custom content community. And as I've said before, you know, I don't participate too much because my downloads folder is 11 gigs or so. And I don't need it anymore. You know, I'm running out of room, basically. Although I have heard of people who have custom content folders that are much larger than mine. But if I see something nice that comes out, I'll take a look at it. So this is the ferry that takes the cars. So you can drive your car. You can go with this ferry. We'll go over here. And I like to imagine that this bridge is got a sort of lift and opening thing. You know, it lifts up. Because as you can see, it doesn't lift up. And as we can also see down here, there's a Maxis boat that's about to clip right through it. See? Look at that. That's Maxis. Totally Maxis. It's not a modder's fault. That's just the way the game comes. This is not recognized as something that you can't clip through or something like that. And also, for those of you who may have put down the train and wondered why your train... Because here's the train tracks. See? They're just train tracks. And you may have wondered why your train doesn't have this great bridge on it. This is downloadable content, this bridge. So I used them and combined them together to create this long railroad. There's the train again, coming through, the end train. So I imagine that when the train, since the train is on such a nice schedule, that when the train is coming through, or not coming through, I should say, that this lifts up and allows the ferry to come through. And the ferry heads over here to this docking station. Yeah. And it lands and people get off and they are welcomed with a nice sign welcoming them to Acanthop Isle, where they can then take their car, and I guess their car will come off the ferry and go down here, and then You can drive it around. I haven't really thought that one through, actually. And then they can go shopping or enjoy the delights of Acanthop Isle. And one of the things that I will be doing fairly soon, as soon as I finish up Dr. Tanner's storyline, is putting in a community pool, because that's one thing we don't have yet. And we have some small little lots here with ponds on them. And there actually is a way to make a swimmable pond, but I will be doing a nice little community pool lots, probably over here in the mainland. So that's the one thing I wanted to give you a couple more ideas with each episode on how you can do more hood decoration ideas. And I have seen people do hoods that are way more fantastic than what I have done. Way more. I'm thinking of my two favorite hoods off the top of my head are bleeding awesome. And one of them, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen right now. And you can take a look at those as I am talking. Fantastic hood design. One is by Javiera, and the other, whose name is escaping me, but it will be on the screen. So there's a lot that you can do with custom content and imagination and just plain old, making it work. This crane here is also by Psycho Sims, as well as these awesome shipping containers. And this lot is the dump, which I don't have anyone living there yet, but eventually I will. Have a vagrant or someone who just sort of moves into the dump and doesn't move out, and Sims will be able to take their old stuff there when someone moves in and you want to change the house around. I'll put all their old stuff in inventory and take it to the dump, and other Sims can go and buy used stuff. This is the shipping shop over here. And not sure what I'm going to have there. It's probably going to be a subsidiary, what's the word I'm looking for? An offshoot of our little postal service, which is over on the other side of the mainland. And yeah, today I wanted to show you a little bit of Dockside here because we haven't seen it too often. We don't play too many places over here. We have Hazel's. We'll be seeing Hazel today. And we have the police station over here, but we don't really have, and this lot, but we haven't had a chance to play them yet. There's a diner over here that I haven't yet worked out. No one owns. It's unowned little diner. And I'm fond of using hood deco, such as this sign here, to match along with, this is a diner sign in my mind, with the lot, so using hood deco as well too. The way you can get around the mainland if you don't have a car is you can walk or you can take a bus. There's a bus on the mainland. There's not a bus on Acanthop, I don't think. That's just a mainland thing. Oh, there goes the train again. And then over here is a newsstand, which no one owns yet. We have a kind of power supply area here. And I imagine that the station for this particular train on this side is right here. People just get off right here and walk around. Or head to the bridge and walk over the bridge. And walk over the little inlet here, which I don't have a name for. Maybe I should call it Pirate's Cove, since there's a shipwreck over here. This is also hood deco, this shipwreck on a rock. This sign here is from Maxis, the street sign. The lot that we'll be playing today is Dr. Tanner's lot. Dr. Tanner lives right here. And we have had Dr. Tanner get engaged in the last few episodes. So that is what we're going to be dealing with today. Let's head out into his lot, and I'll tell you what Dr. Tanner has to do to make his new fiancée a happy camper. And actually, before I do that really quickly, this lot right here, well, this is not a lot, but it will be. This area right here and this area over here, this sort of is eventually these two areas are going to be swimmable ocean places that Sims can go and there'll be beach lots basically right there where Sims can go and hang out on the beach. Let's go into Dr. Tanner's lot. Dr. Tanner is contemplating his new almost marital status by doing some meditation. I love the way they do meditation. Check this animation out. So funny. Are you feeling one with everything? Deep breath. And it has come to Dr. Tanner's attention that his home, though perfectly suitable for a bachelor of independent means, with a serious grilled cheese fetish, is not at all suitable for a woman of Hazel's quality, dignity, and bitchin' style. So this sort of empty lot, this is a lot by Plastic Box, my favorite lot creator. And one of the reasons why I love her lots so much, as I have said many times, is that they're small, compact, but yet totally functional. Totally functional. And they have room in them. Like in this lot, I could actually raise a family of 4, possibly 6 children. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 adults and up to 4 kids in this lot. And you might be wondering how I could do such a thing with such a tiny space, but it's actually not too difficult if you use bunk beds. But I'd probably just have 2 kids in this lot, and if it got any bigger than that, I would move them out. But most of my Sims don't have large families. The Kimmerlys are what's the word I'm looking for? I apologize. An exception. That's the word I'm looking for. An exception to that rule, but for the most part. So Dr. Tanner thinks that it's time for him to not only do his house in a more beneficial place. And by the way, I will tell you with meditation, well, it's on the top of my head here. Breathe. Feel one with all that is. Anyway, I love that meditation animation. Is that it's a great way to keep pregnant Sims whose needs are going down very quickly, because meditation slows your needs down. Cecil Barrington is calling, but we're not going to answer that right now because we have other things to do right now. And one of those things that we have to do is that Dr. Tanner is feeling himself a bit pinched in the financial department. Having just 8,000 funds to his name, you can't do much to decorate a whole house with 8,000 simoleons, and he also is feeling the need to buy a clinic now and set it up nicely so that the good residents of Acanthop and the mainland can come and get some health care, eye exams, pregnancy tests, different pills, sleeping pills, that kind of stuff. All of these things are things that I have in my downloads folder that I will be showing you as we go along. So let's have Dr. Tanner head to the bank. It's time to get a loan. We're going to go somewhere. I'm going to cancel out his meditation. There's Willow, one of my favorite Sims, who is still looking for the love of her life and has not yet found it. It's too bad. But we'll get there. Okay, so I have named my lots. Just a little tip for you hood makers. I have named my lots first with where they are, and then second with the name of the lot here. So you can see I have Acanthop - the Yum Yum Shop, for example, our little bakery, the Dockside, which we were just looking at, the diner that we were just looking at, the shipping shop, and then we have the mainland. This makes it, when you have a lot of lots in your hood, it makes it a lot easier to find things. The university area as well too. So, and the university is over on Acanthop Isle. So we're going to go over to the Acanthop. We're going to go to the corner bank. So for this, in my imagination, since he's driving his truck, we're going to be taking the ferry. Hi, Willow. She wants to get married. It's all she's thinking about. Poor girl. Look, Wesley's calling. He must. I feel like not only does he get calls from friends, but he also gets calls from patients who are calling to ask about their latest itch or owie. This is loading up pretty quickly, so I'm not gonna skip this loading screen unless it takes too much longer. One of the things I hear complained about quite a lot are the loading screens in The Sims 2, but they don't bother me. I guess I'm just used to them, I suppose. We arrive, which I say every time we come to a lot. And there's Willow. Wow, she made it over here really quickly. Maybe she went on the ferry. Maybe she was walking to the ferry. So we're here. We have arrived. And our bank is humming. Someone had mentioned several times not to forget to put an ATM at the bank, and I did not. Here's the ATM. This is a working ATM. It's tied in. I like it very much. It's by Monique. It's available at Mod The Sims, and it's tied into her computer, which I use on every single lot. This is Monique's computer. It allows you to do many things, including shopping at home, banking online. It allows you to write articles for money, and do things like, for example, send an invitation e-card, which will automatically bring a bunch of people over to your house, depending on who you've sent the invitation to. Great, great, great mod. And basically essential to the way I play. I just wouldn't be able to play without it. That's just it. So it's really important for my integrated economy. Now the ATM is tied in as well. It's also by Monique, so it's tied in. You can check your account. He doesn't have anything in his account because I don't use the banking online feature of this anymore. I used to quite a lot and still do for occasional uses, but now I use this fantastic little money tree because it has a couple of things that Monique's does not have. So we are here at the bank. Giles, the mayor of Acanthop Isle, is also head of the banking, which is probably a conflict of political interest now that I think about it. Probably a big conflict of interest. But anyway, he is running things here, and this is Lucy, who, as of late, Dr. Tanner, in the last few episodes, decided that Lucy was not the one for him, and he is now marrying her roommate, Hazel. So anyway, let's say hi to Lucy first before we do any banking business. See what he has to say to her. But anyway, this is how Lucy earns her money. She's a very good employee. And then we're going to say hi to Giles and talk to him about getting a loan. And then I'll show you how we do that. Oh, he talks immediately about his new engagement and falling in love. Oh, and she's being very nice about it. No hard feelings. And now he's quoting life. He's quoting Shakespeare at this point and talking about how all of life is a stage for romance, and I don't know how the heck they're talking about soccer. But I'm glad that they're getting along well. There's no difficulty. She's not shunning him. I don't know what I'm going to do with Lucy. She's a little odd. Perhaps they're reminiscing about some old dates that they used to have. Who knows? So here's Fitsets having finished that conversation. Now let's go over and see if we can't talk to Giles and ask him if he might have a word with us about getting a loan. I'm just going to chat with him. I'm going to share interest this time. I really like the share interest interaction because it really does raise, your Sim's interest depended on... Let's try that again. Yeah, I know how to talk. It raises your Sim's interests. For example, Fitz has a very high interest here in travel. So he might share his interest in travel. Right now he's talking about his crime. What he's talking about right now is crime. So if you share interest enough, it kind of changes your interests based upon who you're talking to. And it's a good technique role-playing wise if you're trying for a sim, for example, is interested in a sim who just doesn't have the same interests. So you just start sharing interest, and the sims start to share interest together, and gives them more of a... It's kind of like you fall in love with a guy who loves skydiving and you hate skydiving, but you start to like skydiving just because he does. Basically the same thing. So, something I don't see people use a lot, share interests, interaction. Okay. It also gives them a nice long talking communication situation here. Kind of bored. Guy was like, I don't know, not really feeling it. I like when they do that. It just means, I don't know, you're just really not hitting it with me. And they go off and do that. Now, Giles is set to be doing restocking, which is what we want him to be doing. But I'm going to actually control him right now. And as you can see, he's set to restock, which is fine. But I'm actually going to cancel that interaction for now. And I'm going to have Giles and Fitz sit down here and talk about what Fitz really came here for, which is Giles, listen, I have more patients coming in, you know, and I really need a new space. And Giles says, well, I heard through the grapevine that you got engaged. And he's like, oh, news travels fast, news travels fast. Well, here's the point. I'd like to make sure and give her a really gorgeous wedding, so I need some dough. What do you say? Romance is a beautiful thing. Yeah, I can take a look. I'll gather up behind my desk afterwards, and I'll take a look and see what I can do for you. And so, if you want to, you can sit down like I like to do and role play out what they're saying and all of that kind of stuff if you want to, or you can just go to the next step of loan buying that I do. So I'm going to now stop controlling this sim. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. Before I do that, I'm going to have Fitzgerald shake the deal. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to gesture and I'm going to give him a tough handshake. Let's seal that deal, buddy. Pleasure doing business with you. Thanks, bud. So Giles, we think, is going to approve that loan because, you know, Fitz is a good guy. And at this point, I can stop controlling Giles because I don't really need him anymore. All I wanted him to do was to sit down and sort of role play that they were talking about the loan. At this point, I will go back to the front here. I will click on my invisible business controller, which is not this tree. I know it looks like I'm clicking on the tree, but I'm not. Nope. Now I'm clicking on the tree. There it is. Nope, nope, nope. Where'd my little business controller go? It's right here on this wall, but it's invisible. That's why you guys might be wondering what the heck I'm doing. I'm going to enable buy and build so I can find it. Because it seems to have... There it is. I was clicking in the wrong area. It's a... Let me show you. I have to show you a lot. It's this. It's right there. See? So, it's invisible, and sometimes, because I haven't been in this lot, I forgot where it was. Let's reassign Giles back to... He's reassigned to Restocker. I'm going to assign him Janitor. And then I'm going to assign him back to Restocker just to make sure he goes back to restocking. Okay. And he should go back and keep doing his job, hopefully. Now, what we're going to do is, since he's approved us for that loan, we're going to do two things. We're going to go over here to the fax machine. How very 1990s. And just for fun, I like to pretend that Dr. Tanner is going to have to send his documents, as it were, over. Oh, let me move this sim out of the way. Move out of the way. Simple way, when you have a small lot, you don't even bother trying to move the sim, just pick him up and move him. This fax machine is by PC Sims. It will allow him to actually send a fax to Giles. The list of Sims will come up here. I'm going to pick Giles right there. And We'll send that sim his documentation that will let him know whether Giles is going to approve him for the loan or not. I'm going to pause because I want to have him go over here and buy the things necessary to actually do the loan. We're going to add this to our shopping bag, and when we get back to his house, I'll show you what it is. And also, while we're at it, let me add one of these. This is an OFB wage adjuster, and this is the automatic bill payer. So I'm gonna also, if it's not being looked at, oh, it is. Tiberius is looking at it, so oh well. If another sim is looking at something that you want to buy, you can shoo them. And hopefully that will stop him. If not, no. Let's see. Don't you buy that. I want that. It's mine. It's mine! The other thing that you can do if you want a sim to lay off of something you're looking at is you can go over here and you can make bugger off Tiberius Horngold, and that will just cause him to leave the lot. That's using the business controller. So after this next little animation cycle, he will bugger off, and then we can buy it. That's the quickest way to do it. Okay, now let's go pay for our items. As it's about coming up on 7. And I'm getting the hankering for some grilled cheese, says Dr. Tanner. Awesome. And our business is taken care of. We can choose to chat with anyone here. Let's see if there's anyone that we'd like to say hi to. I don't even know if you know Idris. Do you know Idris? Let's find out. Idris Padbury owns the local grocery store on the mainland. And she has officially the cutest hair ever. Okay, she hasn't got much to say to us, so we'll just go home now. Because we're going to go home because it's time to set up our loan and then ask Hazel over, because tomorrow morning is wedding time. Hurry up. I love there's even the sound of them starting the car up. It's awesome. So there's going to be a little bit of a wait time, which I had forgotten about. There's going to be a little bit of a wait time of 2 hours, because that's the amount of time that we were gone from the lot. Because I have a mod called Community Time Project, which basically makes time pass the same as the amount of time you spent on the community lot. So he should be home in about 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes. Here he comes. Okay. So now it's time to ask our sweetheart over. We're going to call Hazel and we're going to invite her over. It's going to go down a little something like this. Yo, baby, how you doing? You want to come over here? We're going to invite her over and free her from the tyranny of roommate dumb. Can my friend come over too? Usually 9 times out of 10 I say yes for this. I'm not gonna this time because I want him to invite her over. I want him to have her move in. And it's their night before. Oops. And if you don't answer it in enough time, it goes away. Huh. I wonder if that means the friend's coming over anyway. Huh. I didn't know that. Okay, so I'm going to pause. And I'm going to show you how to set up the loan. Let's do it on the kitchen floor because it's nice and bright over here so you can see. So we have a lot in our inventory here, but we should also have He needs to pay his bills. Oh, look at this. He already had 2 in his inventory. That's awesome. So he has Monique's bills here. And this is part of, oh, what's it called? It's by Monique. It's on Mod The Sims, and it's called the automatic payment mod, I believe. But anyway, it allows you to set up a loan and pay from one sim to another sim. With her computer, you can get out a loan, but you're getting out a loan from nowhere. It's just, you just get the money and then you just pay it back with interest. I want it to be from a particular sim. So we're going to set ourselves as to be the payer. We're going to choose the person we're paying the loan to. That's going to be a playable sim. And this is neat because you can, for example, you can put a sim in the sim bin, call them the banking sim, for example, and give them a bunch of money, and then have sims borrow money from that sim if you want to do that. I try to keep it simple because I'm not big into the finances aspect. I don't want to play a tycoon game. I just want to have a kind of realistic money lending thing. So we're going to be borrowing this from a sim who is very simply called the bank. She's called the admin bank sim. She is on an empty lot. She doesn't do anything except be the sim that I borrow money from. I could have her in the sim bin, but I wanted to be able to go on to her lot and do certain things, change money and that kind of stuff. So I put her on an empty lot. I have a couple of these small 10 by 10 lots around that are hidden that I am using to keep sims I need to run the hood. The other sim I have is the Elder Council sim. That's the sim that basically collects taxes. And when the Elder Council is trying to decide if they have enough money, it's based on how much money is in this sim's household funds. This sim also sits on an empty lot. So let's borrow money from the bank. It tells you automatically how many funds she has, which is exactly how much I gave her. 10,000 funds plus 1 simoleon, because I don't know where that 1 simoleon came from. Now, let's figure out how much we're going to borrow from her. So we've already chosen her. Now we're going to go over here to payer setup. We're going to choose daily paying her back. And let's choose the amount. No, I'm sorry, over here, borrow money. So how much money does Fitzgerald need to do a nice house and a clinic too? He's gonna need a good chunk of change. Let's borrow 30,000. Hopefully well, that's a lot of money. I don't know how, actually, you know what? Before we figure out how much money we're gonna buy, let's figure out how much the building we want to buy is going to cost. The problem is, I know the building I want to buy, I just need to figure out the name of it so we can find out how much it's going to cost. This building right back here, I think would make a perfect little clinic for Fitzgerald. So this is Mainland Parkside Southeast. So let's try and see how much it costs. But we'll go over here, we'll click on real estate, and we'll click on purchase community lot. Go down to Mainland Parkside. Where was that? Mainland. Oh, I know why. Because it's not set to be a community lot. Okay, you guys, hold on a second whilst I... Oh, here's Hazel. Hey, baby, how you doing? Come over here. Get back here, you cutie pie. Let's greet her. Yep. That's how we greet people around here, especially ones we're about to marry. Okay, so this is the save game reminder, which is very simple. It's Bibonique, and it basically reminds you to save your game, which has saved my butt numerous times. Now, just wondering how I can quickly, if I can quickly find out how much this lot is going to cost. I can't. So let's go over there and take a look at it. What the heck? This lot, it's suddenly snowing here. It's suddenly wintertime because this lot was last saved in winter. Whoever the creator was, well, I know who the creator was. It was Plastic Box. This is a Plastic Box lot. Let me show you it real quick. And I decided to come in the lot because I could give you a quick tip on how to change lots from residential to community. It's pretty simple. Anyway, this is once again some tight, fantastic plastic box. Although it does have a dummy floor here. That's what this floor is here. It's just a floor that it's just a dummy floor that she puts in so that she can get the kind of architectural look she's going for. So I might not buy this lot actually because I'm not sure if I want to deal with the dummy floor. Thinking I might not. But anyway, it's meant to, like many of her lots are, it's meant to be a home business type lot where you sleep upstairs and your little business is downstairs. Complete with a very cute little patio here. And nice roomy backyard area. And I wanted something where I could have sort of the doctor's offices upstairs, and downstairs would be his a little store pharmacy kind of place where you'd actually buy different things for your health. So let me show you though how you will go ahead and take a lot and change it to a community lot. There is a cheat called Change Lot Zoning Cheat. And you can look that up on Google, or the best place to find information about it would be on Mod The Sims and the Sims 2 help files. So I have, using my user startup cheat file, you can find it. I've talked about it numerous times in episodes. I don't want to repeat it again here, but it's a way for you to make shortcuts for long entries that so you don't have to type the whole thing out here in this help file here in this area. So instead of typing out change lot zoning blah 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 and trying to remember all that, you can just shorten it. Mine is shortened to community, COOMM, or residential, RES, or I forget the other ones. Those are the only ones I ever use. But I have all of those change lot zoning cheats. I'm going to change this to community. Boom, it's done. After that, you need to leave the lot. Save your changes. If you don't like it, you can just change it back to residential. It's a little trickier changing from community back to residential because you need to get a mailbox. There is a downloadable mailbox at Sim a Little, Dream a Lot. Just type into Google buyable mailbox, and that should take you to that site where you can get a mailbox. So anyway, now it's now set as community lot. So at that point we can then find out how much the lot is going to cost, but I'm not too sure about this lot. So what we'll do instead is I'm going to pause recording for a little bit and find us an appropriate clinic lot. I believe I have found a good candidate here. I like this lot because it's actually right directly behind. This is Dr. Tanner's house right here. And this lot I'll need to remodel it a bit, but the basic layout will work. And that's what I was looking for. And I think I'll remove that other lot that we were just in that has the dummy floor, because I get pretty irritated after having to go hit up twice, hit down twice, hit up twice, and especially in a little lot like that where you're going up and down all the time, it can get tedious real fast. Real fast there. Real fast. All right. So this is a beautifully done lot once again. I love plastic box lots for so many reasons. One being that they're completely functional right off the bat, usually completely decorated. They have ingenious little things here like this little toilet area in here. She uses every square inch. Nothing is wasted, yet it's all workable. Sims do not get stuck in her lots. So in this one, what I'll do is I'll have this be kind of the waiting area, perhaps. Over here will be the pharmacy, and then upstairs this will be the doctor's office here. I'll keep this as a bathroom, and perhaps another little waiting area up here, or a place where he does the eye exams or something like that. And back here I might remove this parking, or I might keep it. I'm not sure. It doesn't really work well with this lot, as you can see, because they'd have to pull up onto the grass. So I'll probably remove it. That doesn't quite work. And I'll change the landscaping in the front, but otherwise I'll keep it more or less as is. I think that should work. So let's go ahead and do the same trick again. COMM for community. And that now takes us from a residential lot, as you can see. It's now zone typed community. Ooh, and this bad boy's expensive. 57,000. Yowza. Dr. Tanner's gonna need a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, let's I could lower the cost of it by deleting this furniture. I'm wondering if I should do that. If I should just haul off and do that. It's basically a matter of how lazy I'm feeling, to be honest, to be completely, honest about it. But it'll only take me a few minutes, so I'll just do it real quickly right now. Okay, I am very glad that I just, mustered it up, as it were, and did that, because it knocked the price from a cool 55 down to 18,000, much more reasonable. And because this lot is so small, it literally took me, I don't know, I've been gone about 3 minutes, more than that, not more than that. Very small, very easy. I just go on and on, but I swear I love small lots. Okay, so this is going to be the new clinic. Let's head out to the neighborhood here and rename it so it's easy to find it in the list and buy it. So the lot is just here. This is Dr. Tanner's lot. And these, by the way, these lots were made on these 1x3 small lots. You can get all of these very small lots, 1x2, 1x3, 1x1. All of these lots that are not normally in the game over at Mod The Sims. Let's rename the lot from Parkside Southwest to let's rename it right now to Tanner Medical. Let's see if I can get this all in here. Center? Nope. We'll just call it Tanner Medical. There we go. This should be easy to find in the list. It's now a community lot. I'm going to make a mental note to replace this lot over here that I don't really like too much. That has the dummy lot with another plastic box lot, because there are a gazillion plastic box lots out there. And then we'll go back into Dr. Tanner's office and we will finish up this loan process. So we will now own this. So we're back here with Hazel. Having greeted her, we first want to let her know that we are a man worthy of marrying. Let's ask her to move in. So I'm going to propose. I'm looking for the propose. I have so many things here. Sometimes here we go. Propose move-in. Without Lucy. Lucy is going to be staying at her house. And they give a hug on it, and we're good to go. Now, he has be left at the altar. I've only seen that happen one time in my, you know, without trying to make it happen or anything. I've only seen it happen one time. And it was during a test run when Deva, Arai, left her now wife, Kathy, at the altar. And unfortunately, it didn't happen again when I started recording. I was so bummed out. So bummed out. But they live in this lot right here. And they have a very interesting marriage. They don't live together. They live in separate apartments, but it seems to work for them. You know, who am I to judge? Anyway, so Hazel has moved in. She added 1,400 simoleons to our coffers. And now we're going to head on over and we're going to finish up that loan process. Going back to the bills here on the floor, we now know that we need at least 18,000 to buy it. So let's go ahead and get let's get 25,000. He will probably need more than that, to be honest, but we'll start with that at least. He might also have some money socked away in his bank account, which we will check on in a minute. So he's now borrowed that money from the bank, and he will be paying it back. The amount that he needs to pay back each day is 1,000. You can change that, actually. And you can change the interest rate as well, too. You can change it to up to 9%, which I think is a bit brutal. It's currently at 1% interest. And I think because he's a first-time buyer, we're going to put it at 3%. And in my imagination, these are decisions that Giles, who is the bank owner, the bank manager, I mean, he's making these decisions as per what Tanner faxed to him. The amount of $1,000 a day is a lot of money to be paying back per day. So let's lower that a little bit. Let's do it at 250 simoleons a day and see if you can keep up with that. Now, you can do all kinds of interesting things with this, with borrowing money back and forth. Once you've set it all up, you put it in your inventory. Such as, for example, you could have it so that a sim can't pay back his loan. When he can't pay back his loan, the repo man starts to come and take things equal to the amount that you owe to the loan. I believe it gets added to the bills is what happens. And then if you can't pay the bills back, then you start to get into some trouble. Let's see what Tanner has in his accounts. Oh, Tanner has 10,000 in his account. Wonderful. So that would be helpful for buying some furniture. I'm going to keep it in his account. And we're going to leave Tanner and Hazel here because in the morning they're going to get ready and we're going to be having a lovely wedding. And this time we're going to have it outdoors at the park. Hazel and Tanner are not really church-going folk. Not really. Especially Hazel. So I feel that Hazel would have preferred to have something more natural, more au naturel, as it were. So we'll do that in the next episode. But for now, for this episode, I want to say, as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed what you saw, especially the trip to the loan, see how the loan works. And one more thing about the loan is that the loan will be automatically deducted from your funds, the amount that you owe, in this case $250, each night at 3 a.m. It happens automatically, and you'll get a little notification up in the corner there. And so it's a great way, for example, if you want to have Sims pay taxes, you can set up a government Sim, basically, and have all the Sims pay taxes to that Sim if you'd like. I don't really go that far as it's a little tedious to set up for each household, but I know lots of people who have played that and enjoyed it very much. So next episode, as I said before, we will be having a park Let me take you over to it as we head across the ocean here. We'll be having a beautiful wedding as we lag across the ocean, as always. Over here at the Commons, where they will rent the Commons and they will have a lovely wedding here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved what you saw, join the party, the ever-growing party, and subscribe. Let me know how you're enjoying a September full of Sims. I'm having a great time making these episodes for you and showing you every little trick and tip that I know. And I'll see you next time. As always, and as I've said many times before, and as I'll say again, thanks so much for watching. Get every new Jessa Channel video right in your email inbox. Subscribe, then from your YouTube homepage, click Manage Subscriptions, then check Email with new uploads. And thanks for watching.